Hello, my name is Jernquist. Welcome to my exhibition project, Inclining Aging with Energy. Is aging a skill is the reflective prompt that I have set for this proposition. My thesis paper was on imagination, embodied imagination, thinking of imagination as a skill. Imagination ultimately is the experience in a very mundane way even. It is in a state of constant play, and it is really creating the reality that we are all experiencing. Thinking about aging through a lens of skill, I think we often view aging as a process over which we have no agency. In fact, we have a lot of impact on how we can age. The function of decline that we are set in this culture, whether it's like graphically or linguistically, doesn't really exist in as much as we have created it. So rethinking aging in terms of inclining, in terms of every moment being new and novel, and that there is always something to seek and find and to be challenged by and to engage with. A diagram essentially explaining that. Here we are, just bodies, experiences in a state of change, and embracing that change with optimism, curiosity, challenge, interest, intention. I think we often get to a sort of an adult stage and we feel like we are done, but in fact we continue to change throughout our life experience, and we should embrace that. So here we are, inclining aging with energy. Is aging a skill? As I created this graphic, I realized fundamentally that while it says a lot about the concept, it doesn't really tell people what's going on. So for that, I've added a fun house. This will be a fun house on the topic of aging with energy. When I pitched this originally, I suggested a meow for seniors, not expecting that this would be the course of events. But yes, in fact, I am making a fun house with older folks and seniors in mind. The client is AARP, 37 million members and an annual revenue of well over $1 billion. They sponsored the summer tour of the Rolling Stones in 2024. Yes, and what a legendary organization. I mean, really catching everyone. Eventually, we are all aging, and we all need support in that process. For the audience, I think that there's a moment when one leaves a youthful sphere and you become aware of your own aging. And I think at that moment of awareness, this is sort of where this starts to be the target audience for, I think, anyone older and really anyone younger. It is never too old to think about aging. It is never too old to have that intention in that direction. The location is the New York State Fair. Butter sculptures, lambs and costumes, concerts, fun, vegetables, fruits, jams, jellies, livestock contests. It is the fair. The hall is the cavernous 42-foot ceilings, 16,000 square feet of the SI Hall, formerly the Science and Industry Hall. It is used for trade shows, science events, rock shows, that kind of thing. Here is the floor plan as they have it. There were no further documents except those that were apparently in a bag somewhere. The map of the fair, I just think, is good to contextualize the sort of like graphic world that the fair is living in. It is branded, but it is a bit cacophonous, and it is a bit wonderful, and it is a bit of a pastiche and a mix of all sorts of things. For the signage, I thought just bold and eye-catching, and this way becomes a theme of both direction and in some ways misdirection for the theme house. I mean the fun house. A little bit of collateral. How might we have found out about this? Driving along a road in upstate New York somewhere near Syracuse. The floor layout is broken up into about 8 spaces. The welcome space on either end, the strawberry grotto, the somatic lab, the filter lab, the somatic playground, a rest station, sandcastles, and the filter gallery. Entering the space, I wanted something a bit surprising. Here we have sort of almost a cathedral-like feeling. All of this is architectural paper that is in the air and lit beautifully. The text I kept minimal. I feel like a lot of what we know in this exhibition, it's common knowledge in some ways. I think we all know what we need to do in terms of eating healthy and staying fit. Whether or not we do it, I think that we can create a lot of stress and sometimes guilt on ourselves in pursuing these things. And I'm trying to recontextualize this a little bit just to be like, hey, let's think of this as fun. Let's be engaged and not stress out about it, but in fact enjoy our engagement in getting older. So aging with energy, your imagination is powerful. Keep growing, keep changing, keep challenging yourself. We are looking at these figures heading into the filter maze. We are going to go the other direction first to the strawberry grotto. We find a very sumptuous pink on pink situation here. felt textured walls in red, white, and pink with pink lighting. You can see people sitting and enjoying themselves about midway. Towards the back, we do have fresh strawberries, delicious fresh strawberries, and the folks in the foreground, they have approached the wall and a motion sensor has opened an oculus eye in the wall, and that is presenting them with a question, a touchscreen question. A little bit of light carnival music has started to play, indicating the tone that this is like fun and a bit campy and a bit silly. The questions are a little bit abstract. We'll go to the script. Here are some ideas. Sort of a push and pull, a little bit of sass between the frame and the visitor, and ultimately it always ends in tears with an angry strawberry telling people to eat me or die, and a bit more info if you would like to engage further with AARP about healthy eating. I was just trying to set a tone. In the course of this research, I learned that about 1 in 10 people actually eats the recommended daily allowance of fruits and vegetables, but 65% of people feel guilty about not doing it, and I thought that fundamentally how we were packaging this message was clearly having the impact that people know, but not having the impact of people actually taking actions and simply feeling bad about it. So I thought maybe recontextualizing this in like a fun and cheeky manner might encourage people to have a happy, funny thought when they were in the fruit and vegetable aisle. Moving on to the somatic lab, we sort of enter the more cavernous part of the space. You can see the strawberry grotto to the left. Towards the back, there are a couple other interactives about shoe genealogy, about the history of walking and migration. And in the foreground here, we have several pods called somatic caves. In the cave, there is a visual screen for a visual meditation. There is a pad to stand on. There are stop and go buttons on the armrest. When a visitor enters and starts the program and stands on the pad, it produces a subtle shaking in the body based on somatic shaking, which is a relaxing, just embodying process, connecting people with their bodies in a very gentle fashion, and a 90-second meditation, both sound and visuals, that goes with that. Stepping back out of the caves, we are going to head towards the right, back up this ramp to the front of the space where we started, and now we are going to head into the filter gallery. In the filter gallery, we have convex and concave video screens. There are multiple cameras in this space, a synthesized responsive video experience for people. It is not like a direct sort of selfie reflection, although it is playing with funhouse mirrors in that way, but it is responsive and giving people an adventure visually and just through the responsive nature of these experiments. I have given a bit of a diagram here, so maybe it's a bit more understandable what is going on. You can see that there are cameras mounted on either sides, and again, this would take multiple views and to synthesize responsive experience on these screens just through filters, AI. Obviously, technologists would need to be involved in this. One more device before we move on is a kinetic tree. This is just a physical object that is wound up and through centrifugal force rises, and a spinning tree emerges from this stand, which we can see right here. In the somatic playground, there is also a level set merry-go-round, multiple textures for walking on the ground. There is a social swing, which is S-shaped with the seats roped together, so the swinging experience is shared. There is also an interactive to the side about walking and gait. The sculptures overhead are kinetic. We can take a quick look at that right now. Here is a cross-section of what that space looked like, and the demonstration of what that kinetic sculpture in the center might be like. Moving on to the filter gallery, we encounter a similar technology to the filter maze. I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible for people that might not want to be in dark finding spaces. So just giving people that engagement with technology, giving people a positive reflection on engaging with technology, central frame doorways, just adding a surreal touch and reinforcing the idea of gallery, but maybe something that you are walking into and becoming a part of. Finally, we have sandcastles, the most contemplative room in the fun house. Here, with the help of docents, we are building sandcastles on a slow-moving conveyor belt, so having the delight of construction and the glee as they fall off the end. Is aging a skill is posted overhead, which is the sort of contemplative overarching message of this exhibition. And finally, we are at the entrance again. Again, more just simple text, words that we know, but perhaps we attach them to our experience in a different fashion. And thank you. Please check out my design and development book if you have further questions. And I appreciate listening. My name is Jernquist, and feel free to reach out to me if you would like to talk more about imagination, aging, or this exhibition. Thank you.